So pause for clip. There.
I always love the way that that song starts because I always feel like I get just a little bit of three stacks and get a little bit of the feel of his vibe from that beginning little, hey, before we get started with this song that's going to become famous that everyone loves, we're going to say some really weird shit for no reason
Mm-hmm.
with reverb on top of it and just kind of leave it there. It's going to be oddly physical. It's going to make you feel uncomfortable. And then we're just going to leave it. It has nothing to do with anything. And we're just going to move on and play music for 10 minutes now. Love it.
The three stacks thing is appropriate. I think you hear when you hear Maggot Brain, if you're any degree of an Outcast or Dungeon Family fan, um, on the whole Maggot Brain record, but especially on this song, you really get a sense of maybe not exactly the Sonics, but definitely the headspace that they were going for, right? Like super pro black, Afrofuturist, really heady, psychedelic, spacey, like literally outer space inclined. Um, and you're right, it never really dawned on me, but the social commentary bit at the beginning is also really weird and poetic. It's like a super big Rube interlude type thing. But I mean, you can easily draw that through line from Funkadelic to the Dungeon Family to Donald Glover, right? I remember when Awaken My Love came out, I tweeted Donald picked up where Three Stacks left off. But both of them and really everything that they've done with trying to like raise the vibrations of consciousness, like this is the Rosetta Stone for them and for so many other incredible artists. And it's what, 10 minutes, 11 minutes? Just on paper, it has all the makings of something terrible, right? It's like 10 minutes of super drugged out, nonstop soloing over just a quiet arpeggiation. But it works, man. I think the thing about Hazel's playing on Maggot Brain is he's making it cry. You know, it's such an evocative vocal. It says a lot. It's a great example of an instrumental because he says more than the best lyrics could do in that context. When that song is over, you feel like you've been on a journey, like you're spent. It's just, there's so much in that. There's like 10,000 light years of lived experience in that jam. He pours it all out.
That's why it's worth like trying to give into the format that we got here. Like talk about it, go listen to that song, take the 10 minutes, right? Like make sure you're actually spinning this like a radio show and then come back cuz like that actually gives the feel. Like when else are you just going to put unless you're you, who else is going to put on an 11-minute song like this just to kind of sit there and be like, yeah, I really should listen to it? Like, no, like listen to these things in sequence so that you can hear the different ways that they draw on one another. Obviously, not
Mm-hmm.
intentionally, these songs span decades, right? But like when you listen to this in sequence, or at the very least in the order that we're talking about it here, you really hear different aspects of the different songs just because a song is never a song in and of itself, right? It never exists in a vacuum. You
Right.
play it in any environment and you hear something different and something new every time. So it's worth doing it this time, especially because that super weird line that you've now created where we do green onions and then caius and then maggot brain. And then we've got something a little lighter fare coming up.
Yeah, when you talk about instrumentals being like a song that probably should have words but doesn't, use that as kind of a qualifier, and that was like, oh yeah, okay, so just a song without words rather than like we're trying to make it an instrumental. To me, this next one, it typifies that. Um, it's just a really good groove, and it was like, oh, this is self sufficient. We don't need to put anything over it. And it's from the group that was as good as it got with groove. Um, Without them, there would be so many things that we didn't really experience the way that they are. The group is the Meters from New Orleans, Louisiana, and the song is Sissy Strut, kind of their signature song.